The White House is facing major backlash this afternoon from a post on President Trump's Truth Social account. It portrays former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama on the bodies of
those extreme views were not in my White House. I wasn't embracing them. I wasn't empowering them. I wasn't putting the weight of the United States government behind.
A president shares racially divisive content that sparks massive outrage online. A late-night host finally reaches his breaking point. This isn't typical political comedy, it's an explosive moment in an ongoing feud. Why does Barack Obama continue to provoke such intense reactions years after leaving office? What drove Jimmy Kimmel to abandon jokes for raw confrontation? Prepare yourself, because this battle runs far deeper than television, entertainment, and scripted humor.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems.
A number of Republicans are calling on you to apologize for that post. Is that something you're going to do?
No, I didn't make a mistake. I mean, I look at a lot of thousands of things, and I looked at the beginning of it. It was fine. They had that one post, and I guess it was a takeoff. By the way, a lot of people covered. If you look at where it came from, I guess it was a takeoff on the Lion King.
Hit that like and subscribe button now. You absolutely cannot miss this explosive showdown. Here's the shocking twist. A comedy show host suddenly sounds more presidential than the actual president himself. Meanwhile, the former Oval Office leader, he's unleashing comments so vile, so disturbing, they belong in the absolute worst depths of internet trolls. The role reversal is stunningly insane. This isn't just irony, it's complete chaos.
Speaking of embarrassing, I'm sure you either saw or heard about the vile post Trump reposted on Truth Social depicting the Obamas as apes and... Oh, you guys didn't like that? Yeah. Plenty has been said about it. It's just hard to believe he's the president. And at first, the White House blamed a staffer, but then they changed the story, probably when they realized the staffer was the president. And
But wait, when those disgusting comments attack Barack Obama with blatantly racist undertones, so obvious they're impossible to ignore, Jimmy Kimmel refuses to stay silent? He doesn't just watch passively. Hell no! He charges forward, fully locked in, determined to expose this ugliness. If this is where we're headed, then Kimmel's ripping off the mask and throwing everything into blinding public view. No hiding, no mercy, pure exposure.
Down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kimmel. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window.
Listen closely. Here's what usually happens. Trump drops something absolutely outrageous. The internet erupts into chaos. News anchors panic under blazing studio lights. Then what? We forget everything like brainless goldfish scrolling endlessly online. That's the predictable cycle we're stuck in. But not this time. Kimmel flat out refuses to let this nightmare disappear into background static. He's treating it exactly like it deserves, a dangerous pattern, demanding thorough examination, not casual dismissal.
man who paid off a porn star who spanked him with his own face on a magazine. She spanked him. He's offended by the halftime. This is a guy who's okay with this being the release of the Epstein files. He's offended.
On the surface, it clearly looks like just another petty political attack. Another screaming news headline. Another explosive moment in the endless Trump-Obama-Fuda toxic rivalry still burning hot.
He gave the okay to post it, but didn't post it himself, but then watched all. Whatever the case, don't worry. Rest assured, there will be no accountability whatsoever.
I just looked at the first part. It was about voter fraud in someplace, Georgia. There was a lot of voter fraud, 2020 voter fraud. And I didn't see the whole thing. I guess during the end of it, there was some kind of a picture that people don't like. I wouldn't like it either, but I didn't see it. I looked at the first part.
I'm not racist. I'm just incompetent and irresponsible. Come on.
But here's where everything shifts dramatically. The hidden subtext transforms this from mere political warfare into something far more sinister and disturbing. When race viciously enters the conversation, when disgusting coded language starts performing mental gymnastics, it stops being simple politics. It morphs into something absolutely grotesque and poisonous. And Kimmel? That signature half-smirk, signaling comedy? Gone. Completely vanished. He drops every trace of humor and makes it brutally clear. He's done with playing nice and subtle. What makes this moment devastatingly powerful is the staggering contrast between these two men. Obama spent years meticulously crafting an image of unshakable composure and dignity. Love his policies or absolutely hate them. You cannot deny that legendary calm, that measured steady tone, those carefully calculated words. Trump. He aggressively built his entire empire on chaos, maximum volume, and pure shock tactics. And now, years after their official battle should have peacefully ended, he's circling back again with vicious remarks, feeling less like genuine policy criticism and more like deep-rooted resentment that never properly healed. What truly ignites this raging inferno? Trump reposting horrifically offensive content crossing every conceivable line. When a former president deliberately amplifies material universally condemned as blatantly racist, this isn't just some careless social media mistake. It's a calculated signal. Kimmel recognizes this immediately. He refuses, dismissing it as meaningless trolling. He aggressively interrogates it, demanding answers. The absolute genius of Kimmel's strategy, using razor-sharp humor like a surgical scalpel, he systematically dismantles every defense. Contrasting Obama's dignified public presence against Trump's obsessive fixation, creating something simultaneously comedic yet deeply, profoundly uncomfortable. Nat changed.
Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for...
But Kimmel explodes the perspective wider. This isn't merely two powerful men exchanging petty insults anymore. This cuts far deeper into our broken societal climate. Watch how disgusting racial undertones viciously infiltrate mainstream conversations, then get casually dismissed as just typical politics. Supporters desperately defend every vile statement as brilliant strategy, while critics recognize something deliberately sinister lurking beneath. Kimmel plants himself firmly in that critical camp. Absolutely zero apologies, zero hesitation. What intensifies this volatile tension? The haunting weight of history itself. Obama's entire presidency suffered relentless racist conspiracy theories attacking his birthplace, coded vicious assaults on his identity, constant dog whistle attacks never truly silencing. Seeing those horrific themes violently resurface now, this feels less like random coincidence, more like calculated continuity of hatred. Kimmel masterfully taps into that painful history without boring lectures. He simply connects the devastating dots and forces audiences to confront the ugly, complete picture. Then Trump's base erupts. Supporters frantically frame criticism as dramatic overreaction. Critics scream it's undeniable proof of systemic racism. Kimmel, standing center in this raging cultural war, boldly chooses his side and leans in unapologetically. No fake neutrality. No masking burning frustration behind false balance. By the end, the entire narrative transforms completely. This transcends simple Trump versus Obama drama. It becomes a profound cultural mirror reflecting how political grudges violently mutate into explosive flashpoints, how ancient rivalries refuse dying quietly. And late-night comedy, it's become the unexpected battleground for aggressively exposing dangerous rhetoric that previously slipped by, completely unchallenged and unexamined. Matt,
by the way, is the thumbnail to the video. It's the first thing you see before you watch the clip. So unless he was taking one of his naps when he posted it, he knew what he was doing. But don't expect an apology because he has a very strong relationship with the black community.
I've done great with them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. And I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned.
That's right. Not since the left. Not since 2016.
What haunts you afterward isn't mere laughter, it's the devastating question Kimmel deliberately leaves suspended? Hanging heavily? If this represents acceptable leadership tone from past and present figures, what horrifying direction are we violently careening toward? Sure, jokes might land perfectly, audiences might enthusiastically applaud, but underneath everything lurks a chilling reminder. Powerful figures' words carry crushing weight long after applause dies completely. Just when you expect Kimmel coasting on clever punchlines, he doubles down hard. He masterfully weaves an intricate tapestry, brutally exposing the situations. Absurdity simultaneously hilarious, yet painfully, devastatingly obvious. He doesn't simply point accusingly screaming, "That's racist." No, he paints the complete toxic ecosystem enabling these vile comments to exist, thrive, even get celebrated by certain media corners and political fanatics. He reveals how constant repetition dangerously normalizes this poison, how casual amplification transforms what should shock us into disturbing entertainment. It's subtle, yet absolutely devastating observation. Humor becomes a brutally honest mirror. In that reflection, audiences see not just joke targets, but themselves complicit in allowing everything slide unchallenged. That's Kimmel's brilliant exploitation. He surgically dissects Trump's performative remarks, exposing calculated behavior patterns, prioritizing manufactured spectacle over genuine substance. Every tweet, every repost, every public attack carefully crafted for maximum reaction. Deliberately designed, trapping audiences in endless outrage-entertainment cycles. Kimmel exposes this manipulation, revealing how identical tactics dominating late-night comedy are precisely the same weapons politicians wield controlling news cycles. The genius? Pure irony. A comedian educating the public about political manipulation while simultaneously us NG comedy's exact tools, proving that very point. Mind-blowing.
Look at how happy he is. Have you ever seen anyone happier than that? Trump loves awards. He giving him an award, it's the only way to get him to do anything. And with that said, Mr. President, I have an offer I think you're going to find difficult to refuse. If you, and only if, you agree to pull ICE out of Minneapolis and put them back at the borders where they belong, I am prepared to offer you one of the following trophies that I have been honored with over the years.
Then comes the deeper, more devastating critique, transforming this segment from mere entertainment into powerful cultural climate commentary. Kimmel brilliantly links this behavior not just to one individual, but to a massive toxic pattern of racialized commentary poisoning political discourse everywhere. He ruthlessly exposes how insidious dog whistles, subtle vicious digs, and relentless repeated innuendos create cumulative devastating effects, influencing public perception in ways rarely properly acknowledged. It's incredibly delicate territory, but he navigates it masterfully. Jokes keep audiences laughing hard, yet dark implications hang like ominous, threatening shadows over every single punchline. Suddenly, what seemed like lighthearted mockery violently transforms into a brutal lens examining deep structural issues, dangerous patterns, and historical biases long menacing shadow. But Kimmel absolutely refuses stopping there. He aggressively brings in social media's toxic context, showing how reposts and shares act as dangerous exploits, spreading hateful rhetoric far beyond its original destructive intent. The reposted Obama video sparking this entire explosive monologue, it becomes a devastating case study in mass amplification. Kimmel demonstrates how this clip, deliberately framed for maximum emotional reaction, transcends simple commentary yet becomes a poisonous cultural artifact, reinforcing harmful stereotypes, provoking blinding rage, fueling endless vicious argument cycles. He contrasts Trump's pathological obsessive fixation on Obama's every movement against undeniable reality. The former president's legacy is now permanent historical record, completely immovable and absolutely unshakable.
Remember this, Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because the stuff that's coming in is not even believable. So, and you should mention that every time they give you a question that's not appropriate, just say, oh, by the way, Obama cheated on the election. You'll watch the camera turn off instantly.
It's absolutely brilliant strategic genius. The more desperately Trump attempts provoking attacks, the more unshakably stable his target appears by devastating comparison. Kimmel masterfully frames this as comedy's ultimate victory, restraint crushing spectacle, dignity dominating disruption, pure reason obliterating mindless reaction. Audiences don't just laugh anymore, they feel the intense suffocating tension between complete absurdity and harsh brutal reality colliding violently. Throughout this explosive chaos, Kimmel never loses his distinctive powerful voice. The monologue flows like an unstoppable rushing narrative, each joke strategically building on the last, each sharp observation intensifying focus relentlessly. There's zero pause interrupting this perfect rhythm. No heavy-handed moralizing derailing the flawless pacing. Instead, audiences get swept along this powerful stream of razor-sharp wit, cutting irony and devastating critique, culminating in one breathtaking moment of absolute clarity. The situation's ridiculous absurdity becomes completely inseparable from the underlying issue's terrifying seriousness. Comedy becomes the essential bridge connecting understanding with amusement, critique with passionate engagement. By the monologue's explosive final act, humor and critique intertwine perfectly. Kimmel has masterfully navigated treacherous, delicate landscape, brutally exposing racial undertones, media complicity, and toxic amplification culture, all while maintaining maximum entertainment value. He's reminded everyone, comedy isn't just reality escape. The final irony, unmistakable. While calling out Trump's divisive, provocative comments, Kimmel demonstrates comedy's true power-challenging authority, illuminating darkness, provoking genuine thought. Magnificent! Nat Change watch the stunning role reversal unfold. The provocateur suddenly becomes the exposed target. The entertainer violently transforms into the passionate educator. And the audience, trapped helplessly between uncontrollable laughter and deep, profound reflection, suddenly realizes these punchlines were never as simple as they initially appeared. Kimmel leaves viewers with powerful lessons extending far beyond this single explosive monologue. In our world where words possess devastating power, comedy carries both the solemn responsibility and extraordinary capability to wield that power wisely and effectively. By segment's explosive conclusion, audiences are simultaneously laughing hard, nodding vigorously, and feeling distinctly uncomfortable. Kimmel has achieved something extraordinarily rare and precious. He's forced people genuinely reconsidering language's dangerous implications, political behavior's disturbing patterns, and subtle, insidious ways rhetoric violently influences mass perception, while delivering lines so razor-sharp they feel like brutal verbal jabs straight to the ribs. This lethal combination of brilliant humor, devastating critique, and penetrating insight ensures this moment haunts consciousness long after screens fade to black and studio lights completely dim. If there's one critical takeaway,
I'm happy to report there was finally some backlash from Republicans on this one. So much so, they took the post down, which gave the always spine-free Senator Bill Cassidy a chance to say thank you to President Trump for taking down the post about the Obamas. And thank you, Senator Cassidy, for reminding us who the real hero of this story. That is some triple Olympic-level brown-nosing right there.
Critical takeaway resonating powerfully, it's this. When comedy fearlessly intersects with genuine conscience, the result becomes absolutely devastatingly effective, leaving even the most powerful, untouchable figures brutally exposed under spotlights they desperately seek avoiding. Kimmel's monologue serves as an urgent reminder. While outrage may prove frustratingly fleeting and temporary, true accountability remains absolutely enduring and permanent. And humor, when masterfully wielded with surgical precision and deep, insightful understanding, becomes one of humanity's most powerful tools for aggressively shining blinding light on deeply uncomfortable truths. Trump's vicious Obama comments may have been specifically intended provoking division, but in the skilled, masterful hands of brilliant commentator Jimmy Kimmel, they transform completely, becoming a penetrating lens for genuine understanding, a commanding stage for devastating critique, and ultimately a defining moment underscoring comedy's enduring magnificent power to fearlessly confront, relentlessly question, and boldly challenge absolute authority. Nat Change, and ultimately, that laughter transcends mere laughter itself. It becomes a powerful signal, a profound recognition that in our world constantly dominated by manufactured spectacle and weaponized outrage, someone courageously steps up, fearlessly dissecting absolute absurdity, holding powerful figures ruthlessly accountable while keeping audiences thoroughly captivated and entertained. It's an impossibly delicate balancing act FEW ever managed successfully. Yet Kimmel walks that treacherous tight.
We've got a president who thinks it's okay to use the Justice Department, just for example, to use the Justice Department to go after his political opponents. And wait. Here's a rule. You can't boo. You got to vote. They won't hear you if you're booing, but they'll hear your vote.
Treacherous tightrope with masterful, effortless ease, proving definitively that the best comedy is invariably the most courageously bold. The lesson, crystal clear. In our political landscape horrifically cluttered with relentless chaos, manufactured outrage, and mind-numbing endless repetition, comedians like Kimmel deliver urgent reminders. Humor isn't merely shallow entertainment. It's razor-sharp observation, devastating critique, and the unflinching, fearless willingness confronting absurdity wherever it lurks menacingly. When that absurdity arrives disgustingly dressed in a former president's vile social media posts, that willingness transforms from merely admirable into absolutely essential and critical. Kimmel's explosive monologue on Trump's racist Obama attacks transcends typical late-night television. It's a masterclass in perfect timing, penetrating insight, and brilliant cultural critique, demonstrating comedy can simultaneously be sharp, profoundly thoughtful, and socially relevant through precise surgical observation, brilliantly layered humor, and absolutely fearless commentary. He transforms one disturbing incident into broader, powerful reflection on dangerous rhetoric, abused power, and the solemn responsibility accompanying both. Comedy, wielded masterfully, illuminates public discourse's darkest corners while keeping audiences laughing and thinking equally. Nat Change THI's late-night commentary's explosive power unleashed.
President Biden and Vice President Harris were down there meeting with local officials and comforting families, asking how they could help. And Donald Trump at a rally just started making up stories about the Biden administration withholding aid from Republican areas and siphoning off aid to give to undocumented immigrants. Just made the stuff up. Everybody knew it wasn't
Unleashed. When executed with masterful skill, it simultaneously entertains brilliantly, educates profoundly, and provokes deep thought all at once. While Trump clearly intended sparking manufactured outrage or desperate attention with his disgusting comments, Kimmel's devastating response ensures what emerges isn't just mindless reaction, but genuine, meaningful reflection, a combination rare and precious in today's toxic media wasteland. By segment's powerful conclusion, viewers experience clarity breaking through absolute chaos. They've laughed hard, winced painfully, and perhaps fundamentally reevaluated everything they thought they understood about political discourse. Media amplification and language's subtle ways violently shaping public perception. Kimmel transcends merely calling out one vile comment. He contextualizes it masterfully, exposes dangerous recurring patterns, and delivers insightful, devastating critique all while landing humor with surgical precision and maximum impact. It's an urgent reminder. In our world where provocation gets constantly rewarded, powerful voices still exist, willing to fearlessly challenge, surgically dissect, and hold authority ruthlessly accountable, using entertainment's very tools to reveal crucial truths otherwise ignored completely. By masterfully blending sharp humor.
This who has more talent thing goes, it seems like he's challenging me to a contest, which, if so, I'm open to it. Let's do it. Let's have a talent competition. I'll come out, I'll tell a few jokes, I'll draw something, I'll play my clarinet, he can play golf, spank a porn star, and ruin a country. Now, I'm kidding, of course. The truth is, Donald Trump is he's a very talented person. I mean, the man can sing. The man can act.
Excuse me, where's the lobby?
Down the hall and to the left.
Thanks.
He can dance. He does impressions.
Penetrating insight and brilliant cultural critique, he elevates a simple late-night monologue into something far greater, profound reflection on power, responsibility, and rhetoric's subtle yet absolutely profound ways shaping entire societies. Powerful. Nat Change. In this powerful sense, Kimmel's work transcends mere comedy. It becomes a masterclass in essential media literacy. It brilliantly demonstrates how razor-sharp humor can illuminate dangerous hidden patterns, aggressively challenge false assumptions, and provoke critical thinking intensely. It proves definitively that even in landscapes absolutely dominated by manufactured outrage, mind-numbing, repetition, and empty spectacle, one perfectly aimed joke can violently cut through deafening noise and force an entire nation, confronting its self-examining leaders and questioning narratives blindly accepted as normal. Through everything, one truth becomes crystal clear and undeniable. In explosive clashes between outrageous provocation and incisive observation, humor wields precision policy completely lacks, and insight eclipses empty spectacle devastatingly. Jimmy Kimmel doesn't just call out Trump simplistically, he contextualizes, critiques, and challenges using every available tool, ensuring audiences don't merely laugh, they think. question, and deeply engage with profound truths hidden behind controversy. This commentary lingers powerfully, reminding everyone while laughter proves immediate and fleeting, genuine reflection becomes absolutely enduring. The most potent comedy invariably carries the sharpest truths. Brilliant!